So this is essentially our agenda for today. We will start with introducing, the changes that HubSpot has been doing in the last one and a half year, especially into the report and to the rest of the platform as well, and how it has affected the reporting piece essentially. Then we will, take a over the things which are happening in reporting. Then we will deep dive into attribution reporting because that's essentially one of the key pain points for any marketer business. Like where I'm doing 10 things, but what is the five things which are working for me the best? Like the 80-20 rule, it applies everywhere. So yeah, you zoom in on your 20% of the things which are bringing your 80% of the revenue. Yeah. So for that, attribution reporting is your key. Then we will also take a look briefly on the new custom report builder. This HubSpot launched a custom report builder last year or probably end of 2019, sometime then. But now it's a different one. It has got a few more over that. One we'll talk about that. And then at the end, the last 10 minutes will be for your Q&As. Like Abhinav mentioned, the team will try to answer your questions as they arise. But if something is unanswered, then we'll take those up in the final 10-15 minutes, and then I'll hand over to Abhinav to close this out. Okay. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Yeah, most just like customer experience. This is just all of us are in marketing or sales, like in some important part of a business, and we understand that companies like Uber, companies like Airbnb, Netflix, it's the experience that is basically helping them disrupt the industry. But the thing here is that how do you build such an experience? Okay. Um, so far we have been looking at something reporting. So this great experience that these companies have been building, this is coming from the data that they have, and we also have data as HubSpot. Provides us data. We track these things. Anonymous visitors, prospects, then become customers and promoters. One is a marketing function, one is a sales function, one is a service function. We report like this, and gather data like this, and try to fit our data into such funnels and such functions, and then try to make insights out of this. But this is that this is not really how an actual customer journey looks like. So the customer journey looks more like this, with a lot of back and forth also involved, and not just weird non-linear trends or interactions with the business. Okay. And so far we really don't have, we know this by intuition that okay, our customer journey is not this linear and all of those things. But by you can say the infrastructure we are provided, or any tool that provides it, we have to fit in whatever data we get into that linear structure, and try to then try to make sense of it whatever we can. So yeah, it's not really impactful, I would say, to our customer experience, because a lot of insights gets missed out. So to how do you go from collecting data and putting it into this structure, and then from to this collecting data for something like this structure, this sort of a customer journey, and then move and create insights. So HubSpot has eventually went on that mission, that your customer journeys are non-linear. There's a lot involved. Multiple touch points are happening. No worries. Basically, we are building data. We are building tools one by one, so that you don't have to fit your data into a very linear, rigid structure, but rather report or gather insights on the actual customer journey. So they have been launching things like web traffic analytics, you must have noticed in your HubSpot portal. Go over here. Um, so in here, you must have noticed in reports there is analytics tools in which we can see traffic, traffic by sales content, reporting by sales content, sales, reporting on customer service metrics, all of that, channel reporting. But the key thing that they have done in the last 1.5 years is, attribution reporting. So we will just, after this, deep dive into this. And a very new feature which launched in May is the new custom report builder. It went into public on the new custom report builder. So let's get started. Basically, when you are reporting on your actual customer journey, you will get a stronger strategy because you will know all your touch points and those touch points, so your strategy will be stronger, the credit will go to the right places, which in then turn, inform the strategy again. And the final outcome that we all want is a stronger customer relationships, powerful, impactful, experience essentially. Uh, so as I said, we'll be diving deep into attribution reporting. So let's begin with that. Okay, so before I go inside HubSpot and show you a couple of attribution reports type, there's a bit of theory that we will go over so that you are aware of all the terms which are being used and thrown around in the HubSpot paradigm of attribution reporting. So we'll just do that, and also quickly take a look at on this side. Yeah. Okay. So attribution. So HubSpot, how HubSpot have done is it has identified 4 key interaction points from someone being an unknown to your brand to them becoming a revenue source, your customer and a promoter. So they have identified 4 interaction points in this entire journey. These are first touch. Basically, the first time they get to know your brand, they visit any of your brand's digital property. This is usually the first website visit of any potential customer onto your website. So first touch is that. Then the next interaction or next key interaction point that they have identified is lead create. This is essentially contact create attribution. So they come to our website, and in most scenarios, the time their first interaction, the page they landed on first, or the source they came from first, they will not end up converting in the same session. In for some businesses that might not be true. For conversion might be a one session thing. For some, it is a multi-session thing. So yeah, don't. This is not like written on stone or anything like that. But yeah. So contacts create attribution, even if like for your business, the session, the first touch and the lead create are happening in the same session, cool, HubSpot will register it, like not a problem. And we will talk, what difference it will make later on. If in a single session, your first touch and lead creates are happening versus if they are happening in, different sessions. So we'll cover that. The next key interaction moment is the deal create. So essentially, what was the event just before a deal, got associated with with a particular contact? Okay. So deal create attribution is essentially pinpoint the event, the interaction, which happened just before a deal got associated to a contact. Okay. And then the final, basically the moment, the session, the moment, the activity, the interaction type, whatever you want to call it, what happened just before the deal was, the associated deal was moved on to a closed won stage. So these are the 4, interaction points along the customer journey for which, you will be attributing. And then everything that happens in between is known as a middle interaction. Okay, so these small dots that you are seeing over here, interactions. So HubSpot does, depending on what kind of attribution model you are choosing, HubSpot will, attribute your revenue or your contact creation to your middle interactions as well. So yeah, don't just the percentage of attribution given to these middle interactions will be lesser than your 4 key interactions that we have talked about here. But yeah, for each of the interaction that's happening, HubSpot has a method to attribute to it. Now moving further, just to illustrate it even better. So like we are seeing here, a first touch, contact, create, deal, create, the three of the 4 key interactions over here. So someone clicks an ad, then in the middle comes onto your website for the first time. That's their first touch. Then they view a blog post, then they view a white paper, and then convert on that white paper. So this is where your contact gets created. You start sending them some emails, you engage with them on Instagram, any social, engage with your business on your social platform. Then they come and attend your webinar, watch it, and that is the point after which you create a deal, associate a deal with them essentially. So this is like the interactions which have happened, the interactions which your now, on top of that, each of these interaction will have a source. So for the first one, it was paid social. Blog post, let's just say it was paid social. It could be organic social also, or organic search also. So for each of these interactions that the customer has done, there are sources essentially. And for interactions, there are also content also. Like they clicked the tofu ad, but which ad? They viewed a blog post, but which ad? So the drill down, like understand it, the drill down is so good that you will be able to say, okay, this blog X of mine generates in a year. Last year blog X of mine generated $4,000 for me in revenue, whereas blog Y generated $2,000 in revenue. So as a marketing team, as a business, you will be able to take a stand, make a strategy, which maximizes revenue. You will write more type of content which is attributing to more of your revenue. You will publish or spend less effort on the type of content that's giving less, attributing less to the revenue. Same goes. You will pick channels accordingly. So it just helps you optimize year on year or month on month, whatever your um, take. Get keep on getting better and better. Okay. So yeah, like I mentioned, with each interaction, there is additional data about that interaction. Like see in this slide, the interaction, there was a source associated with, there was a content, content type or a content title itself associated with it. So yeah, and all of these dimensions are essentially available to you to report on, to attribute. Uh, Now we'll talk about attribution model. So that's actions, different kind of interactions that that a particular potential customer or prospect can have with your business, and the 4 key interactions, and then everything in middle, in between. Now we'll talk about attribution models. So those who do PPC or a lot of spend on ads, they must already be aware of attribution models which are there, because these platforms like Google or Facebook do give us conversion attribution models and some choices around that we can attribute the conversions to a model, a last click model, a time decay model, all of those. So similarly, HubSpot has also built these models. So one common, a quick question everyone wants to know is which attribution. That's a common question you always get. Like, what's the best should be there. Any guesses for this? What's the best? What should be our answer? What's the best attribution model here? It's like so Krishnu says revenue we should use. Okay, revenue is an attribution type. It's not really model, Krishnu, and we'll explore more what I mean by that. But yeah, it's the most boring answer. It's the most answer that never makes anyone happy, but it's true, which is it depends. Okay. So depending on your business, depending on the type of attribution that you are trying to do, whether you are trying to attribute for contact creation, deal creation, or revenue, different models will make sense for your business. This is just a illustration that shows that suppose we generated say $10,000 in revenue from one deal. If you choose a model first touch, and that person interacted with you from an ad for the first time, then that paid social or paid search as a source will get all of the 10,000 revenue. All of the revenue will get attributed to that. Similarly, if you use a W-shaped model, and we'll drill down into how much attribution percentage each model does and all of that. So suppose if you choose W-shaped model for that same $10,000 of revenue, then what it will do is the first touch, basically your paid source will get 30% of the revenue credit. Okay, your lead create. So suppose the paid source was your first touch, then organic search was your lead create. So that will get another 30% of the revenue. And deal create was done by a salesperson. So that that activity of the salesperson, say a meeting or a call or a reply on an email, on a sales email. So that will essentially get the remaining the 30% of the revenue. Now what we are left with is 10%. So that 10% will go in these middle and will get equally credited to these remaining middle interactions essentially. So there are 5 interactions over here. So each of them will get like 2% of the 10,000 attributed to them. Same goes for a time decay model. This is a model people are aware of paid advertising, of like the touch points which have happened most latest. They will get the maximum amount of attribution, and the touch points which have happened, or the interactions which have happened earlier in the journey, they will get the least amount of attribution. Moving on, now we'll talk about the different types of attribution models which are available. So this chart only shows about 3 models, but there are more than 3 which are available in HubSpot. So we'll just go over one by one. Okay. Okay. So the first model is first touch, the simplest one. Basically, this and the last touch model. Whatever led to the first interaction, that will get all the credit. As simple as that. Last interaction is all the credit goes to the first interaction before a conversion. So if you are attributing, you are creating a revenue attribution report and you choose last interaction, then basically whatever happened before that, the interaction or the event that happened just before that deal got moved to closed one, that will be attributed 100% of the deal amount. Okay. So that's the last interaction model. Then you have a linear model, pretty balanced. All of the interactions, including the middle ones, get equal attribution. So suppose from first touch to closed one, there are 10 interactions, and the deal is worth $10,000. Then if we have 10 interactions in between, then each of the interactions, interaction source or interaction content will get 10% of the revenue. That is $1,000 each will be attributed to each of the interactions. So linear is like we can say something. If you are not sure what to start with, linear probably is a good idea to start with. Another model which there is another model which is very close, comes close to linear, and we'll talk about that in a bit. That is also like a very balanced approach. If you are not sure, which attribution model is right for you, go with something like linear, or there's a model called full path. So we'll talk about it in just a few minutes. So those two will be your should be your preferences. Then there is a U-shaped model. This is good if you are creating a contact attribution report and not really a revenue attribution report, because this U-shaped model gives 40% attribution to the first touch and 40% to the event or the interaction that led to your contact creation. Okay, so that's why I said when you are creating a report which is a contact attribution report rather than a deal or a closed won or a revenue attribution report, then this model is pretty handy, pretty balanced, that at first touch is important as well as the touch which led to the contact creation is important, and everything in between gets, assigned the remaining 20%. Okay. Then there's a W-shaped model. This is essentially the W that we are talking about here. Again, if you are creating like deal attribution, deal creation attribution, then this should be your go-to model. Like you can compare between this and the linear and the full path. If you are creating a deal creation report, then W-shaped is a pretty handy model to use. Gives 30% attribution to your first touch point, contact creation touch point, and deal creation touch point, and the remaining 10% is attributed to everything in between. Okay. And then comes our full path model, which I mentioned just a few minutes back. Yeah. So the full path model, each of the major 4 interaction types, it assigns 22.5% to each of the 4 major interactions. And apart from that, whatever is remaining gets assigned, the 10% remaining gets assigned to the middle interaction. So like I said, linear could be one model that is a pretty balanced approach, gives every interaction equal attribution. Then comes your full path, which also gives credit to each interaction point. Just that the important interaction points, which are first touch, contact create, deal create, and close one, it gives them a 22.5%, and then the interaction points which happens in between, it distributes the remaining 10% between them. Okay, so this is also a pretty balanced model, especially when you are reporting, doing a revenue attribution. Then is your time decay. Time decay is essentially last interaction, but it unlike last interaction, it does not give everything or all the attribution to closed won. It basically attributes some part also to the previous interactions as well. The percentage that is attributed to your previous interactions will depend on how how back in the past those interactions happened. Farther back in the past those happened, the lesser they attributed to. This is just a summary. Like you can, as I mentioned, there you could be creating a contact attribution report, a deal attribution report, or a revenue attribution report. Depending on which type of attribution report you are creating, these will be the attribution types that will be available to you, out of the box. So let's just do one revenue attribution report and one, contact create attribution report, and see these models working and whatever we have talked about in terms of attribution type or interaction, interaction source versus interaction, further drilling down into interaction event that happened. So yeah, let's just look at all of that. So I have this one revenue attribution report here ready. What it does is give me revenue by interaction source and type. Okay. So like other reporting, so in attribution reporting, the options are pretty limited in terms of visualization. Obviously, the report type is such that you can't really have a donut or a pie chart for this. Um, so that is there. And then there are other filters that you can apply on your data. Here I'm like any other report, you can apply date filters and then some filters which are given. So like in a normal report, you can choose the properties which you want to using which you want to apply filters. For attribution reporting, the filters are not as robust or flexible. So there are given filter properties. They are given properties inside filters, and you can only apply filters for those properties, and not for any property in the CRM that you want to apply filter on. So that's there. Uh, then we go into the data, dimension. So we are here. So you are saying here it is organic social and 479 rupees Indian currency essentially is attributed to organic social, whereas integrations have been attributed 250 rupees. Uh, okay, rupees of revenue. And the secondary dimension for me is interaction type. Okay. So HubSpot has this article. I am not sure if everyone has gone over it, but it will be good for everyone to take a look at these. Like we talked about attribution models, or keep bookmark it, keep it handy so that it's new, so it will take some time to get a hang of. So yeah, it will be handy for the timing that you bookmark this article so that you can refer to it for confusion with respect to attribution models, interactions, interaction sources, interaction types, content types. There are quite a few variables over here. Okay. So I'm looking in my report, I'm looking at interaction source and then drilling it down by interaction type. Right now there are you can choose to not drill it down also, but essentially in terms of dimensions, there's a limitation of 2 dimensions, so you can drill it down to into one more dimension. I have chosen interaction type here. Okay. But yeah, I cannot have an additional drill down as well at the moment. Okay. Now, attribution models, as you are seeing on basis, I'm using the first interaction model. So organic social based on first interaction model has 479, attributed 479 rupees to my revenue, total revenue, whereas integrations have, attributed 250. Now, if I add another model, I will add full path. Like I said, for revenue attribution, it is a pretty balanced model. Okay. So on full path, showing here in blue, I will just remove that or maybe keep that. Okay, so showing here in blue, now you can see organic social as a source. Its attribution has reduced so much. So from 479, it has come down to 155, whereas the attribution, of integrations as a source has gone from 250 to 574. Okay. So depending on how your business works and what model you will choose, the attribution of your revenue will change. Okay, and that's the beauty of the system, that you can compare and see. And once you have logged down on say I'm reporting on revenue attribution and full path is uh, you know uh, the right attribution type for me, attribution model for me, then you can just attribute in such a good manner and be confident. Okay, yeah, this is these are my sources which are actually working, and these are the sources like organic social. If you are just have one attribution model of first interaction, then organic social seems to be doing wonders. But if you put full path, then you will get the full picture that okay, uh, organic social is getting people onto my website for the first time, but it is not really that's not all. There is contact creation happening, there is deal creation happening, there is revenue deal closed one happening, and organic social might not have a role to play in that. So all of these things which come out are possible because you are using a full path attribution model instead of a first interaction attribution model. Okay. So I would say just like the first interaction model gives you something that was possible for you to build in the previous report builder without the attribution reporting, but again, the thing that it was hiding was this, which you get by different attribution model. Like we are seeing here in full path model, organic social actually is, contributing 155 instead of 479. And then integrations are contributing 574 instead of just 250, okay, as a source. And then if I drill down it further, if I click on it, then I can see my interaction, the secondary dimension as I'm using interaction type. So my source is organic social, interaction source is organic social, but my interaction type is form submitted, page viewed. Okay. So in a full path model, this is my attribution breakdown by the type, from the breakdown of the source attribution revenue by the types, interaction types. Same goes for my integration. I think it will be just one thing, contact created in HubSpot. So like I mentioned, knowing what are the different interaction types that could be there. Like you can see there is page view, form submission, CTA click, social click, marketing email click, those are your interaction types. So knowing that all of these interaction types will be quite a handy thing for you to make sense of what you will see over here. Now, if I also add one more attribution model, which is here the linear model. Okay. So you see it again changed. Now my organic social is now closer to my first interaction, 453, and my integration is closer to the first interaction model. So if I'm attributing equally to each of the interactions that happened, then organic social again comes up on top, like doing a lot better. And if you click on any of these numbers or any of these bars, like for let's just say organic social full path model, if I click on it here, I can see the details of the interactions. So HubSpot is essentially logging to 10,000 events against one contact. Okay, so if interacted with your business 10,000 times before it, 10,000 or lesser number of times before it converted as a customer for your business. So all of that data is being recorded and attributed to. Okay, so it's that in terms of revenue attribution, or contact create attribution, or deal create attribution. Also, if a person is taking 10,000 interactions before it's converting to as a customer, that's probably something to worry about in general anyway. Okay, so if I clicked on one of the bar charts, I can see my interaction types and the position of the interaction, which we earlier discussed. So these most of these are for organic social, most of the interactions happened in the middle of the my journey, the entire journey of revenue. So that is why they're in a full path version, they're in a full path model, only a few, like very small percentage of the revenue is being attributed to this particular source. Okay, because most of the interactions happened in the middle of the funnel. Now, if I see any interactions happened, no, none of the interactions happened in the in the beginning or in the main events of the funnel. Now, if I see same for integrations, the full path model for integrations. So as you can see, interaction type, it's not middle, it's contact created. And a full path model attributes 22.5% to the contact created, interaction source. So hence, the full path model is, attributing the full amount to this. I think this is the interaction position you are seeing here. First interaction, lead created, deal closed on. Everything happened in the same interaction, so the full amount is attributed. You'll see for this particular contact, three major events happened because of one interaction. Okay, so you see around 20 to 67% of the revenue being attributed in a full path model or to my interaction, source of integration, because three key events happened, and in a full path model, all key events are given 22.5% of the revenue. So that is why you can see 46.23 out of 68.49 is given. So yeah, you can click on any of these numbers and drill down and see, how what all interactions and in which positions those interactions happened, and because of which a number like this is coming up. Okay. So that's on revenue attribution part. There are other models also which we have discussed. You can use them also. But yeah, so just it will be just too much, to take with all the models adding up here. So yeah, you get the gist, I hope, with how different models, changes your calculation of revenue attribution and shows you a different picture. One more thing I just want to mention, that the types we saw, integration, interaction type. So we are seeing interaction sources, and then also we are seeing interaction types. These are your types: form, submitted, page view. These are interaction types. Okay. So you can, from your settings, if you go into your settings in HubSpot and go to tracking and analytics and attribution, you can turn on or off certain types. So let's just say if you don't want to track social post clicks or conversations, like the conversation tool or sales email reply, you can turn it off. And there are other also you can turn what kind of strategy you guys are deploying in your marketing, etc. So all of these attribution types are there. This is not a full list. HubSpot has mentioned that they are adding other attribution types also over here. Like one of the things I see is like there is marketing email flagged, okay, but there is no marketing email open so far in the interaction type. So that is also an interaction type which HubSpot has mentioned that they will be adding. So this list is getting bigger and bigger. So just keep on coming over here and see the new interaction types that they have added. As you can see, these 4 are in beta, and see if you want to use them or not. This is for revenue, then this is for deals, create attribution. Same interaction types, you can turn on and off whichever you don't want to use for your business. Okay. Now moving on to a contact attribution report. So this is again same as revenue attribution in terms of the dimensions and everything which are there, the filters which are limited, as I said. But yeah, they do allow you to filter contacts by list. So you can, in list, as you can just use any list, and then you can use that list over here to run this report on as a base data. So in contact attribution, essentially you are able to apply all the filters that you want to apply. Method. Then there are some given filters also which you can use if list is not if you really don't need a list. Then there are some, you can also look at the given filters like life cycle stages, campaigns, buying roles, all of that, and apply those filters, and then run your report. Again, in this report, this is my first interaction type, first interaction model I'm using, and you can see like my organic search has 128 total. But if I use a model of last interaction, sorry, not last, U-shaped interaction, better model for contact create attribution. So if I choose U-shaped, then as you can see under U-shaped, my organic search actually leads to 107.65 contact creation and not 128 contact creation. And like previously, I can drill down into my page views versus form submitted types. there could be more types as well, but for my business, it's only these two right now happening. But yeah, there could be CTA clicks, there could be email clicks, like we saw in these settings. So all of these types will be getting attributed some part of the contact. So essentially, when I use U-shaped model, I can see, okay, organic search actually lead up to 107, contacts creation and not 128. So the missing number must be going to one of the other sources essentially. Yeah. In terms of interaction type, I can also use something like a content type as a secondary dimension, and let's just see what happens there. Then I can see, okay, my blog post leads to one contact creation, page without content type leads to 50%. So this will come if your website is not hosted on HubSpot. It will come as page without content type. The same article I'm talking about, and probably we'll be able to send this to you as well along with the recording. That this essentially also mention how you can, if your content is hosted outside of HubSpot, you have an externally hosted website, then you can do some coding, simple coding, some JS pushing, and then attribute that content also. So here it will not come as where is our report? Yeah, here it will not come as page without content type, but actually go into one of these like blog post, listing page, website page, depending on how you configure these this thing. So I can see by my content types what content types are creating uh, most value for me. Then yeah, these are the different secondary dimensions that I can use. In primary dimension, I can also see content description, which is essentially uh, my content title. So this basically this page, sorry, my home page is creating 39 on a U-shaped model is creating 39.34, but on a first interaction basis creating a 91%, a 91 contacts for me, whereas on a U-shaped model it is creating a 39.3. So by all my content pieces, I can see the basically the impact of them in creating contacts into my CRM, generating leads for me, the impact of each of my content piece. Okay. So yeah, that's on the attribution report types. Now we will be taking a look at the custom report builder. But yeah, let's just talk about it a bit. So the previous report builder, I hope most of you have used it. So you will see it's like you can choose a single object, or can choose max two objects, and then on the basis of those two objects you can just report on their properties. Okay, so if I choose in contact, then I can report on any of the properties that I have under the contact object, be it life cycle stage, original source, those kind of things. But what was really missing was the ability to report on events. So uh, I can't report on email opens or email clicks essentially with that report builder, or CTA clicks, those kind of things. So these are all events. Uh, if you go to each of the tools, like if you go to the CTA tools, you can see how many CTA clicks have happened for a particular CTA. If you go to emails, you can see a list of people who have opened or clicked on your email. So all of these reporting was there, but it was all fragmented in different tools. But with this new custom report builder, you are able to, not just report on your objects, but also on the events that are there in your system, that data exists in HubSpot already. Okay. So that is being added. That is like one single most huge, thing to highlight in the new custom report builder, that now you can report on all of the data that is in the system at from a single place. You don't have to send your managers or send your uh, executives into different links to see different data. Uh, and then there was a lack of usability, like I said. There was a certain set of way in which you can arrange your data points, dimensions, but now that has been made flexible. There are new visualization types like pivot charts. So people who were reporting in Excel, they can just imagine how much time it will save and how much more uh, you know um, possibilities have are now just right inside HubSpot. Um, so that's there. HubSpot team has reported that now you have, like I mentioned, there is full data access and there is a powerful workspace, that there are functionalities given to new visualization, advanced filter logic, which are in place, and we'll just take a look at all of it very soon. Um, so now, something like I was giving an example earlier, you can choose contacts reporting or deals reporting or contacts and deal reporting, but still you can't, uh, uh, combine them with all of these events that happen in the system. If you have to look at marketing emails, you have to go into that email and look at all the opens, which contacts opened it or clicked it, you know, in a similar fashion for landing page views, blog views, all of these were separate. But now with this new custom report builder, you are able to combine them and answer questions like, are prospects on open deals engaging with the email? So we'll just like take this question and look at one of the custom reports that we have built. So this is how the interface looks like for the people who are looking, have not got the chance to explore custom report builder. This is essentially what it looks like. As you can see, is one more section than before already. Like there is a data dimension section which used to be not there, and then there is a configuration section, and then is your actual data. So that's there. Now I will just go one step back and reach this report. But this report is essentially nothing but showing you, these pages. What is the count of open of the people who are associated with these in these deal stages. So I can get people who are in my delayed or deferred deal stage. They have opened 106 emails, whereas people who are on stage, they have opened more emails. So I can do something, improve this number, because this is how I can clearly see that as further down the deal stages we are moving, the number of opens is increasing. So if I focus on increasing my count of open number of opened emails by the people who are in these deals which are in delayed deferred, there's a good chance that I am my deal will make progress eventually. So that is like a focus point or an insight for me to work upon and all of that. As you can see here, I'll like you mentioned, I'll just go a step back. So with this new custom report builder, the first thing that you do as you begin creating a report is editing your data sources. So choosing your data sources. So you can choose a primary data source, in this case, which is contact. Then secondary data sources, like I've chosen deals, and then events data like line items. These are some secondary CRM objects, line items or conversion sequences. But yeah, you can, and then these are your all of the marketing events that happen. So ads, blog, email. Here what happens is, like, since I have chosen marketing email, so all of the others are restricted. So that is still there, that some sort of restriction, not, you can't choose multiple events at the moment to report on. So if you want to report on ads for the same for the same deal, then that has to be a separate report. Can't combine it with the marketing email report itself. But yeah, in terms of just combining the objects, contacts, and deals with an event, that is quite possible over here. And then there are other things which I can also choose from. So once you have chosen the data sources, then you move on to the next step, and then you come onto a screen like this. So on this screen, you can choose to have uh, here your data that you want to report on. So like I have chosen on x-axis, I want to show my deal stages, and on a y-axis, I want to show, basically I want to report on my number of opened emails. So as you can see here, based on what you chose in the first step in your data sources, you can see all of the properties associated with each of the event, either it's an event or a object. You can see all of the properties which are associated with it, and you can just select those and bring them over here and then drop them into your chart. Okay? Like I have done for open emails over here. Then one more thing over here, so you can choose a chart type, and like I was mentioning, this is the pivot table which is there. This is the pivot table chart type which is there. Okay, it will take some time to refresh. Meanwhile, we can go into the filters. So because filters has also been updated. Um, so now earlier you in reporting we only have and filters, but now we have filter rules like all of the filters below, any of the filters below, which is essentially or an or logic. All of the filters is the and logic, which was the only logic we had previously. And then there is also so you can group filters with my established rule between them. I can also number 3, then I can or rule uh, over here number 3. So showing a warning, but uh, okay. So either my filters match one or it can match the third filter. And that really makes filtering a lot more flexible. I mean, I don't see any filter configuration that you won't be able to do with this kind of interface or setup. Uh, Going back to configuration, as you can see now, it has given me a pivot table. I can again move back to my vertical bars, which are more visual for me and easier to read. Okay, you can bring and drop more properties over here. So like I am looking at these stages on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, I am looking at count of opened emails. Let me see if I can also bring in some other property. Right. Count of contacts in each of the deals. Just see if we can have this. Yeah. So I can see my deal stages and see how many contacts are in each of the deal stages. As you can see, the chart type has already changed to a combination chart type because I have now two y-axis properties that I am looking at. And then on y-axis one, I have my count of open emails, which is shown by the bar, and whereas the line chart is showing me the count of contacts which are there for that particular deal stage, number of people which are there, uh, you know. So that all of that is possible now, essentially. Uh, Going back, so that was just an example of just to help you get started. One more thing I would like to point out. We are already taking quite some time. So there is a try demo drop down. So you can there are a couple of demo which are built in into each portal. So you can click on it and initiate a demo interface for yourself and see how it works. Just if you need help in getting started on. Hopefully this session helped you with some of your clearing out some of your doubts and how you can get started. And as you will do more and more of these reporting, you will get essentially get a hang of it. Like for the rest of the tools, that's true. You'll get a hang of it, and then it will be just easy breezy. Uh, so that's it. One more thing, which is coming soon, if you should be that you should be aware of, if people around you or in your top management ask, then more data sources coming in, data into the custom report builder, and then making library reports. So HubSpot has this report library which has a lot of reports around which were built on the old builder. So HubSpot has mentioned that they will be making more reports available in the report library, which are built on the custom report builder essentially. And as a starting point, like I mentioned, the demo and these two reports are already there in each of your portals, so you can just try out. This could be a starting point, get a hang of it, and then build your own report essentially. One thing that I must mention, that all the events data like open clicks and add clicks and all of that event data has a maximum limit of 12 months. Okay, so you can't essentially pull in data or build a report on events which happened more than 12 months ago. So that's the limitation which is there. Okay, so I mean that's all. We can open for Q&As. I am seeing.
So yeah, most people have just asked questions on the chat itself, and we mostly answered. There is one last
Okay.
I see from Takhar. Yeah, if you can just take that up, and if there are any other further.
Okay. Reports like mails, if we want to filter them down by custom property. Yes, sure, Prakhar. That is absolutely possible. So like we are looking at emails open over here. Um, so definitely I can choose, in my contacts, I am able to see all the contacts properties, irrespective of whether those are custom or those, HubSpot provided properties. So definitely, if you have chosen the object, then all the properties that belong to that object, you are able to pull them in and break your report down by that particular property. No issues with that. So, I hope that answers your question, Prakhar. If you can give a confirmation if you're around. All right, great, cool.
Great.
So
Anybody else has more questions? I know we are already over time, but yeah, just to ensure any questions don't go unanswered.
yes,
Okay.
Prakhar, this is doable on with the new custom report builder only. Like I mentioned, the events data was not available with your existing standard reports. So that is essentially. something that has, I mean, you can either report on events or report on your objects, but not combine the two, which is now a functionality available with the custom report builder, new custom report builder. Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like the event part is pretty amazing, no doubt. Anything else? I see someone has asked why only two interaction sources are showing. That was just a data thing. We only had two interaction sources, so only two were showing. That was basically a demo portal on which I was showing, so not a lot of data available. So yeah, in any of the reports, the data you saw, it was all dummy data. So yeah.
Great. I think thanks, Deepak. In that case, I guess most of the questions are, or all of the questions so far have been answered. And I'm glad Philly says that, it was useful. So even people with, a lot of experience found something. So glad to hear that. Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that's about it for, oh, I didn't have my video on. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. We will be, you can join our community. There is a Facebook group. I think there's a LinkedIn group and probably a Twitter handle as well. Mostly every information is available. You just have to Google. I mean, it's not just with us, obviously. It's available on the HubSpot communities. There's also a feedback link, which is very critical for us, in order for us to keep doing this sessions. HubSpot needs to be told that we are doing a good job. So I'll really request you, if you found the session useful, please click on that link in the when I shared, and please share the feedback for the event. This is very, very important for us to keep going.
Even if you
Other than
don't
that,
found it useful, then also please. That is also equally
okay,
important. Yeah.
okay, yeah, in fact, yes. Yeah, so we'll know, what to do better probably next time. Uh, Good. Yeah. So yeah, so that's about it. I think yes, we extended a little about 20 minutes. Sorry for that. I think most of the time I took. Deepak had planned for 1 hour, but I think I took most of the initial 15-20 minutes. Next time I'll be careful. Yeah, so that's about it. I think we'll be doing another probably in about 2 months now. Given that we have to do 4 events a year, and the first one is happening right now in May. Uh, Partly because the platform was not ready, and then partly because we chose to be a part of the 75 hugs in 5 days program. And obviously some all everybody knows India wasn't feeling so well as a country last month, so also we chose to delay it. So yeah, hopefully things will get better, and all of us will feel better. And obviously, next time we will try to come up with, something which is again more important to the community, which, helps people on in their day-to-day, life with HubSpot. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for joining in today, and hope to see you soon. Yeah. All right, all good. Simran, anything else that we have to share with the participants? Sorry. uh, okay, no, all good. So, okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a good day, and bye bye. And take care, please.